How many of you do your own maintenance on your motorcycle? I'll just, start with oil changes, I guess are the most common. And then project slip-ons, whatever else. So one of my pet peeves is on the discussion forums here on YouTube. If somebody asks a question about the dealers or what they're paying or anything with dealer, anybody doing anything on the bike, somebody always has to respond, you should do it yourself. Just do it yourself. And somebody, one of the things I've noticed, I'm guilty of this, is unfairly assigning your values to other people. And I would never assume to tell someone, you should just do it yourself. You could point out that there's advantages to that, but there's also disadvantages. So I'm not very good at this stuff. My dad is and was. And I am not, and never had much interest in it. Until now, I've been trying to do some. But I'm not good enough at it. And if it wasn't for YouTube, I don't know how I would do what I've done. And, something as simple as an oil change, if you've never done it, you don't know what you don't know, and you're going to make some mistakes. On the other hand, to pay what we pay for these bikes, I got this used on a good deal, but new, these things go for, what, 20 grand, 21 grand on this bike? And then to say, well, I'm going to try to save $100, $200, and do the oil change myself. Your life depends on this thing running correctly, going down the road, right? So I'm conflicted. Like, my time is valuable. There's a price on time. And do I want to do it doing oil changes? Now, I get no mechanic's ever going to care about my bike as much as I do. But that doesn't mean I'm going to do it better. Just because I care doesn't mean I'm more capable. Now, having said that, I have done oil changes on my ATVs, oil changes on this bike once, on the Super Chief once myself. I've put slip-ons on, I don't know, man, it's the small stuff I've done. And as they get more complex, I get less interested in even trying. I have an oil change coming due on this, and I'm debating, like, do I just pay somebody to knock it out so I can keep riding? Or do I take what for me often turns into a protracted experiment in failure and mistakes? And I don't do it enough to feel like I'm in a rhythm and know the pattern. And I know one time I posted a video of me doing this oil change. It's funny to come, it's just an oil change, dude. It's like, yeah, and if you've never done them, they're not easy. Everything's easy once you know how to do it. It's interesting to me when I've asked bikers on the road, or riders, I'll say, when I've met riders on the road, I'll ask them about, do they do their own maintenance? And a lot of them say no. Say they've gotten too old for it, or they want it done right. I'm not saying I would go to a dealer necessarily. I have found a couple of guys, one in particular, I really like him. He does thorough work, and it's all word of mouth right now. But, I have to get the bike over there. Often he wants me to leave it, so that's kind of, I can't wait at his house all the time. We did that once where I had lunch while he did a project. So that's cool, but he's not close. He's like 30 minutes from me. And I know some people are going to say, well, in 30 minutes you could have done the oil change yourself. Maybe. In fact, it's an hour round trip. And so I bought the oil change kits. I got a couple of them, and I'm probably going to do that on this bike. I got to clean up my garage. I got tools everywhere. I try to keep them in one spot. But I'm curious how many of you out there do your own maintenance. Some of the folks on the forums and stuff act like everybody came out of the womb knowing how to do this stuff. And if you don't know how to do it, the comments range from, what are you, an idiot? To, if you don't know the difference between this tool and that tool, You shouldn't even be riding a motorcycle. I've seen that comment. It's like, it's funny. You can buy a Ford truck and nobody expects that. I guess that's part of what gets me, is that I got a Ford truck and that one person asked me if I do my own oil changes when I'm on a message form. Nobody lectures me that the Ford technician doesn't care about my truck as much as I do, so I should change my own brakes, my own spark plugs, exhaust, lifts, whatever. Do all that yourself. But on the bike, it's like the go-to response to, why is that? Is that because this is more critical because we're so exposed? Does it just come with the territory? You can leave that in the comments. I'm sure there's a, you know, I'm being tongue-in-cheek a bit with it, but I've been on a lot of discussion forums on my vehicles through the years with problems, and I've never really had anyone say, fix it yourself. It's like, take it to the dealer, take it to the shop. That's what they're experts in. Not on the motorcycle, man. All caps, you should do this yourself. Don't trust dealers. You should be on a motorcycle if you're not going to do the repairs. So you can let me know in the comments on that. I'll see you on the road.